welcome to the Breakfast Hour. It's Wednesday. How are you doing? I hope you are doing well, not only on Wednesday, but on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I hope you're well every day. But if you are not well, we hope that we can do something here to make you better. Welcome to the Breakfast Hour. We are happy to have you. Morning, Mikey G.
Lady Elise, I am, I'm feeling myself this morning. I would need some advice about healthcare and how I am feeling today. A little bit different than usual, of course. You know how things work. If you don't feel well, you need to see your physician or even get an appointment to actually see one or get some advice of how you can take care of whatever it is that is ailing you. This morning is Wellness Wednesday. I want to say thank you for joining us for this episode of the Breakfast Hour. It's indeed a beautiful morning right here in the Grand Cayman Islands. As Lady Ellie says, it's Wellness Wednesday.
I'm enjoying this Wednesday morning, Mikey G. And it's funny that you said that you should perhaps get advice if you're in a space that you're not exactly sure what you are, but also be careful where you get that advice. I'll be telling you something. Sometimes we go on the internet, right? And we start searching. Not every single thing that you find there applies to you. Not every single thing that is there is gospel.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
so you have to measure where you get that advice from. So I'm happy that each and every Wednesday, it is Wellness Wednesday. If you're joining us for the very first time, you need to know that every Wednesday we have our qualified physician with a number of years of experience. She joins us every single Wednesday and she shares information with us. Today she has something special to share. You're going to hear later on in the program. Yeah, you're going to hear later on what Dr. K has to share with us. But before we do that, of course, we have our devotional, we have our news, and a number of items that we need to do before we get into the Wellness Wednesday highlight.
Of course, Lady Elise, as you said before, devotional comes up. I want to thank the lady Susan Long for our devotional each morning right here on Flash
Good morning. This is day 16. We are now the people of God. 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 10. My people, written by Anne Setas. A little girl was being punished for bad behavior, and her parents were making her eat dinner by herself in the corner of the room. They paid no attention to her until they heard her praying part of Psalm 23. I thank you, Lord, for preparing a table before me in the presence of my enemies. A cute story. But our families can sometimes feel like our enemies when they aren't exactly what we want them to be. Even our spiritual family at church lets us down occasionally. But by changing our focus, we can learn to give up the naive idea that others will always meet our lofty expectations. Instead of focusing on others, we can find hope in the truth that we are one of God's very own children through faith in Jesus. He has chosen us and made us His own special people. The Lord has brought us into His family, and we can be sure that our relationship with Him will never be severed. He'll never treat us as an enemy. When others let us down, instead of giving into discouragement, let's change our focus and remind ourselves that we who have put our faith in Jesus are God's children, cherished and cared for by Him. Christian, are you disappointed with the world and all around? Turn your eyes from earth to heaven, where you will find true joys. Our quote this morning reads, when others let you down, look up. End quote.
When you need ultrasound that's safe and effective, you must visit Asai Ultrasound Imaging. They're conveniently located at number 4 Chestnut Center, Smith Road, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. With experienced technologists with over 20 years experience, their friendly staff will make you comfortable while you get your procedure done. Asai Ultrasound Imaging is open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Call Asai Ultrasound Imaging 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426. That's 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426.
When the world quiets down and the noise of the day fades away, that's when the real conversations begin. The ones we hide, the ones we fear, the ones that need to be heard. Conversations After Dark with Mario, where the silence ends and truth begins. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m., Mario takes you on a journey through the real, raw, and rarely spoken truths that shape our lives. From personal battles to family struggles, community wounds to silent traumas. No topic is too taboo, no story too deep. It's not just talk, it's healing. This is a safe space where shame is shattered, silence is broken, and truth finally speaks. Conversations After Dark with Mario, every Wednesday at 10 p.m. Only on Flashpoint Radio, www.flashpointmedia.ky. Stay up, speak up, heal forward.
Yeah, Mario After Dark. Yeah. It is. I'm getting that one. I'm getting into the groove already. You know what I'm saying, right?
You're getting into it, and I know I will be there. I'll be there. And so we want to invite our VIPs and everybody to come on board for Conversations After Dark with Mario. I know he's going to bring the energy and the vibe, and we need to connect to him. The way to connect is www.flashpointmedia.ky. Just hit play and you will be connected. Use your iPad, your phone, your laptop, whichever way you choose to connect, you can connect. Conversations with Mario, yeah, after dark, later tonight. No. Yes.
Later tonight. It is tonight's episode. The debut of this one is tonight, and of course, for those who have never joined Flashpoint Radio before, tonight you're
Yeah.
gonna get something special and extra special for your first treat. night with Mario. Alright? So, I hear the music, man, just mellow and just so weird, boy, I tell you. Anyways, so, of course, today is Wellness Wednesday. And of course, we want to feature with Dr. K. But before we do so, we will go to our news, and then when we come back,
When you need ultrasound that's safe and effective, you must visit Asai Ultrasound Imaging. They're conveniently located at number 4 Chestnut Center, Smith Road, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. With experienced technologists with over 20 years experience, their friendly staff will make you comfortable while you get your procedure done. Asai Ultrasound Imaging is open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Call Asai Ultrasound Imaging 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426. That's 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426.
Good morning, Cayman. It is Wednesday, July 16th, and these are the news headlines on Breakfast Or, bringing you the top stories shaping the Cayman Islands and beyond. Boys Club still a power in Parliament. Women demand greater representation. A veteran politician and a first-time candidate are calling for more women in Cayman's parliament, citing persistent gender disparities and cultural roadblocks. Lucille Seymour, a founding member of the People's Progressive Party, and newcomer Jiva Richards of the Cayman Islands National Party, say efforts to improve gender parity must go beyond rhetoric. Seymour suggested the introduction of an appointed upper chamber similar to Bermuda's Senate, to nurture future female leaders. Richards noted that political parties have made progress in supporting women candidates, but that remnants of the good old boys club still stifle women's voices. Observers from the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association flagged Cayman's lagging implementation of affirmative action under the CEDAW Convention, despite being signed on since 2016. Richards believes the lack of urgency stems from competing priorities and limited public pressure. Both women agreed that while quotas can increase numbers, the root of inequality lies in social norms, and the solution must include education, mentorship, and inclusive leadership. Measles spike in U.S. raises concern for Cayman. As measles cases soar in the United States, the highest since 1992, Cayman health officials are urging the public to stay alert. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Nick Gent confirmed that while the risk to Cayman remains low, especially among vaccinated individuals, residents should take precautions. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control has issued a Level 1 global travel notice with over 1,290 cases reported in 39 U.S. states. Texas leads with over 60% of those cases. Public Health is encouraging vaccinations and has opened a dedicated MMR clinic. The ministry is also considering moving the first MMR dose to 12 months, down from the current 15. Measles symptoms include high fever, cough, red eyes, and a spreading rash. With strong travel ties to the US and Canada, both reporting thousands of cases, Cayman's health authorities are monitoring the situation closely and encouraging full vaccination as the best defense. Cayman investors follow the money in battle against dirty cash. Police in the Cayman Islands froze or seized nearly US $38 million in criminal assets last year, a large portion of it in digital assets, underscoring the country's evolving efforts in the fight against money laundering. As Cayman gears up for another review by the Financial Action Task Force, officials say the complexity of the financial sector and the rise of cryptocurrency present growing challenges. Elizabeth Lees, former head of the Anti-Money Laundering Task Force, emphasized that cross-border cooperation and local prosecutions must go hand in hand. She says following the money and freezing it is key to removing the motive behind organized crime. Cayman's standing as a global financial center means it must do more than just cooperate. It must actively investigate and prosecute money laundering cases to remain compliant on the world stage. PPM in rebuilding phase after election loss. The People's Progressive Movement says it's in a rebuilding phase following its disappointing result in the April general election. Opposition leader Joey Hugh and Deputy Kenneth Bryan appeared in the media recently, confirming their commitment to implementing promises from their manifesto despite not forming the government. With 5 sitting members retiring before the election, the PPM fell short of the majority, while rival parties and independents joined forces to form the ruling coalition. Hughes said the work of rebuilding has already begun, and Bryan pointed out that some legislative groundwork, particularly on immigration reform, had been laid before the party moved into opposition. Cayman starts strong at Island Games, 9 medals in first 2 days. Team Cayman is off to a brilliant start at the 20th International Island Games, currently underway in Orkney, Scotland. In just 2 days of competition, Cayman athletes have already secured 9 medals, including 2 gold. Among the standout performances, the men's 4x50-meter medley relay team, James Allison, Daniel Kish, Will Sellers, and Jack Clark Terrell, clinched bronze, finishing in a time of 1 minute 43 seconds. Daniel Kish also brought home a second bronze for Cayman in the men's 200-meter butterfly with a time of 2 minutes 4 seconds. The 32-member Cayman delegation joins more than 1,600 athletes from 24 islands competing in a range of events, with the Games officially opened by Princess Anne this past Saturday. And now to regional news. Jamaica eyes green future. UN study projects economic growth with climate shift. A new study supported by the United Nations Development Programme and the International Labour Organization reveals that Jamaica could see up to 8,000 new jobs and nearly 1% GDP growth by transitioning to a green economic model. Presented last week to Jamaica's Ministries of Economic Growth and Labour, the Green Economic Growth Model forecasts strong employment gains in service, sales, and clerical sectors, making up nearly half of the projected job increase. The study also anticipates a Jamaican $14.3 billion decline in imports by 2037, thanks to reduced demand for liquid fuels via road transport electrification, alongside an $11.7 billion investment boost tied to Jamaica's integrated resource plan and nationally determined contributions. CDB and AFD launch Euro 4 million grant to fuel climate, agriculture, and gender initiatives. In financial news, the Caribbean Development Bank has partnered with AFD in France to roll out Euro 4 million grant facility to drive climate smart, gender inclusive, and agriculture focused investments across the Caribbean. Structured over 5 years, the facility supports everything from sectoral studies and agricultural investments to gender mainstreaming and biodiversity finance tracking. A dedicated project coordinator will also oversee grant implementation. This initiative complements a US $50 million credit facility signed in 2023 and builds on past successes, including energy efficient street lighting projects in Jamaica and Suriname and water security efforts in St. Lucia. CDB Vice President Dr. Isaac Solomon called it a powerful push for regional resilience, while AFD's Dominique Hallberg emphasized its role in tackling both climate vulnerability and social inequality in the Caribbean. Caribbean SIDs reaffirmed water security commitments at SDG workshop in Grenada. High-level officials from 6 Caribbean small island developing states have reaffirmed their commitment to integrated water resources management at a regional workshop in Grenada last week. The event, titled Leveraging SDG 6 for Accelerated Water Investments in Caribbean SIDS, saw active participation from delegates in Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, Grenada, Guyana, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Hosted by GWP Caribbean, UNEP, and the Government of Grenada, the workshop focused on actionable, realistic strategies to accelerate water investments and resilience in line with Sustainable Development Goal 6.5.1. UNEP's Vincent Sweeney praised the initiative as a, quote, space for practical peer exchange, end quote, while facilitator Chris Corbin urged regional players to move beyond planning into tangible action, highlighting the importance of short-term wins and long-term collaboration. That wraps up your Flashpoint Morning News Update. Stay with us for more stories throughout the day. Follow us online or tune in every hour for updates that matter.
I'm Audley Scott, and you're listening to Flashpoint Radio. Rise and shine. Your morning boost of inspiration, news, and fun. With Mikey G, Lady Elise, and Coralie Karen, the unmistakable combination, synergized to navigate.
Welcome, welcome. It is Wellness Wednesday. And of course, it's always an opportunity for us to take the time to spend that quality time to check out our health and our well-being. And of course, Mikey G, you know who is in the house? The doctor
Yes, yes,
is
yes.
in the house. And I'm not quite sure, how she's doing. We're going to find out how she's doing and what she has to share with us this morning on the breakfast hour. But of course, I'm going to invite you at this time to go ahead and share the link and tell someone that the doc is in the house, and certainly we want you to be a part of the conversation today.
Of course, It's Wellness Wednesday, right here on Flashpoint. When we come back, first I want to say to you, good evening, good morning, Dr. K. How are you doing this morning? Good morning, Dr. K. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning, Maggie G. Good morning, Lady Elise.
Wake up! I remember Francois in the morning used to say, wake them up!
Wake them
Okay.
up in the morning. Let's wake them up in the morning. Dr. K, this morning we are right here on Wellness Wednesday. It's another Wednesday morning right here in the Grand Cayman Islands. And of course, it's all about our health. And of course, this morning.
And of course, I want to use this opportunity. I know it's usually at the end of the presentation. I want to say a big thank you to Dr. Kane for spending the time and being patient with us and sharing with us each and every week something to better our lives. And so I'm not sure what she's going to be speaking about, but Dr. K has many years of experience in the medical field, and she is sharing with us each and every time something to help us to take care of our health and well being. What are you speaking about today, Dr. K?
Okay, so today I'm talking about the benefits of sleeping.
What?
And this will be followed by next week, we'll be talking about sleep apnea. And I'll be talking about sleep apnea because there are lots of people who have sleep apnea and do not even know. And I mean, I've had a number of people who ask me to talk about sleep apnea, but I wanted to talk about the benefits of sleep before I go into sleep apnea.
Okay.
So, sleep,
Mm.
everybody does that, and I'm sure you're just waking up this morning and you want to know, did you get enough sleep last night? Have you been getting enough sleep?
I don't think so,
And
Dr.
I
K.
hope you have been getting enough sleep.
I
And you
don't.
can say, but what is enough sleep? How much sleep do I need? How much sleep do you need? So, an adult needs 7 hours or more sleep every night.
Oh
When
my.
you're a baby just born from 0 to 12 months, you probably sleep 16 hours for the day. I mean, that's all they do, eat, sleep, and poop, right? So, and when you get older, they might need like about 13. Other older children will need 7 to 9. But adults definitely need 7 or more hours of sleep per night. So if you're getting less than 7 hours, people, we need to adjust our bedtime. We need to go to bed a little bit more. And the thing about it is not just the time that you get in your bed, because the quantity of sleep is important, but the quality of sleep is important. So you might go to your bed at 8 o'clock in the night, but you're getting up 2, 3 times to pee, or you're not sleeping throughout the night, you're counting sheep and you're not falling asleep, and therefore you're really not getting enough sleep. And then there are people who try to sleep in the days and sleep for long periods in the days. And those of us who have had children, we know that when we put them to sleep in the days, they take longer to go to sleep at night, especially
Mm.
if it's in the afternoon, where when they get this long nap, then they're up and do not want to sleep at early or try to keep their bedtime. But sleep is important, and sleep is important for a number of reasons, because sleep is a period of time when we actually repair ourselves, right? It's important for our physical and our mental well-being. When we sleep, we have better cognitive function. It enhances our mood. It increases or enhances our physical activity, and it also builds our immune system. Do you know that? And
Oh my.
basically reduces your risk of chronic medical disease.
So you're saying
You were
that
saying something,
if I sleep enough, my immune system. If I don't sleep enough, I weaken my immune system.
And that's the correct thing. If you do not sleep enough, you're not what happens is that your immune system is not maximum. It's not at the maximum effect.
So I'm running risk of catching any little bug that comes out. I'm having it immediately. I can just get
Cor-
infected by it or
Correct,
affected by it.
because right, because once your immune system is not optimal, then you're more susceptible to everything that comes your way. Remember, we're all exposed. We're every day we're exposed to viruses, bacteria, fungus, and what causes us not to get infected or to get affected by these microorganisms. It is our immune system. So once our immune system is competent, then we're less likely. And that's why people who have immunocompromised states, for example, cancers, HIV, whatever the immunocompromised condition is, any illness that makes their immune system compromised, then those persons are more at risk for getting chronic or for getting infections that normal people would not get. So yes, it definitely improves your immune system. And another thing that it really does is that sleeping actually plays a big role in memory, because I'm going to tell you about the different stages of sleep. And the different stages of sleep, in the different stages of sleep, memory is actually organized. Do you know that? Your memory is organized when you sleep.
Hmm.
So all those people with scatterbrain, they need to sleep more, right?
What is I've heard that term so many times and so often. Is that a real term that something has gone wrong with someone, or somebody just refer to themselves? I have a scatterbrain or something. I don't know. I'm
I, I don't think it's a medical term. It's a matter of, some people just all over the place. They can't them to concentrate. They're just everywhere. So that's why they call them scatterbrain. They're not able to concentrate on one thing. They're going from thing to things, and not being able to focus. But basically, sleeping actually helps with your focus on your concentration. And if you know that you can look at yourself when you're not sleeping. You are not able to concentrate. Driving, doing things that takes a lot of brain power. You find that you're not functioning as effective with those things. And so, definitely, sleep is important. And the other thing, physically, what sleep does for you is actually strengthens your heart, because when you sleep, your heart rate and blood pressure decreases, and therefore it decreases the work of your heart.
I That's an interesting twist in events when I see so many people even love to sleep having problems with their heart. Is it that there's an underlying reason for that? No, because I see people who are sleeping a lot.
People, well, if you're having issues with your heart, you really can't sleep.
Can't sleep.
It's amazing. People who are having issues with their heart tend to have problems sleeping. And that's another thing with sleep apnea. Sleep apnea, and we're going to go as so much into sleep apnea and what it can do in terms of your body, your heart, and other different organs of your body, how just not sleeping and not sleeping well. And so we're going to talk about sleep apnea because it's very, very important for us to talk about. It really is.
Dr. K, I'll ask a question because most times when we have such busy lives and busy schedules, and what we find is that from childhood, we have these uh, deadlines and we have accomplishments that are laid us out for us. And sometimes it becomes difficult to pack everything into one day. Now, the area that we choose to take away from usually sleep. We are saying, okay, I cannot sleep because I have this to
So
do,
many
that
things
to
to do.
do, so many things to do. But what you're sharing with us is that in order for us to accomplish these tasks, sleep is an integral part, not only for your physical well being, but for your mental agility as well.
Hmm.
And that's correct. And you notice there are some people who basically are doing something and they realize that they need to sleep and they take what they call a power nap. And after that power nap, they tend to be able to function more effectively. So yes, sleep is important. People who are sleep deprived tend to not do well. And it's not just mentally, but I'm also talking about physically. Sleep actually improves your mood, so you're less stressed. And remember, stress is so important in dealing with or in terms of stress hormones actually causes so many things to go wrong with us. It puts us at risk for so many things. So basically, sleep improves your stress or reduces your stress by improving your mood. And also, sleeping actually decreases your risk of injuries because not sleeping makes you more clumsy.
Doc, when you said a while ago, just before you said make you clumsy, and it reduces your risk of injuries. That's what you said. It means if I'm asleep,
Yes.
most than likely I would bump my toe too much. Yes.
Well, if you're sleeping, you wouldn't do that. But if you
I
get
know.
enough sleep,
I
then
was thinking
your
that.
balance and coordination will be better, so you wouldn't be able to stub your toe.
Until you said that, Doc. Until you said that, I was gone to the point. If I'm sleeping, I'm not going to be out playing, so nobody can kick a ball and hit me in my head or fall over a cliff or
That is
something.
absolutely true. But when you sleep enough, your coordination, your balance is improved, and so you're at less risk for stubbing your toe, for
Thank
falling,
you.
or having accidents.
I
So
did that.
that's totally yes. And actually, sleeping actually improves your social skills.
There it is. And
So
then
sleeping makes you less moody, less irritable, less unkind around other people. So there are some people who are so irritable, anxious, and all of that. They probably need to just sleep.
Doc, are you playing?
Well, that could be too, because maybe the personality, even if they are naturally in that moody tone, it means that less interaction with individuals because they are sleeping more. So
Uh,
that could be also what
Ladies,
happens.
I was just thinking Doc was throwing words at me. You know, being cranky and thinking that she's talking about me. That was very useful.
Maggie, you don't portray that sort of,
I know, I
but
know, I know. But
it certainly.
I just thought she was. I thought she knew something that I didn't know, and I'm just thinking while she's saying it, I'm listening to myself. I know that some of those criteria fit some, some person that I know, very well. So,
Oh, oh boy. So the thing to do is, how do you actually have good sleep etiquette? And sleep etiquette is very important, right? It's important because in order for you to sleep well, you have to do certain things for you to maintain that well sleep. So you notice that if you change your bedtime, you go to bed 8, sometimes 9, sometimes 10, sometimes 12. What you're doing is not keeping the normal schedule, and as a result of that, you're not falling asleep as you ought. When you have children and you're training them, you say, okay, I'm putting down my child at 8 o'clock in the night. And whether that child wants to sleep or not, I'm putting that baby down at 8 o'clock. And eventually, when you put that at 8 o'clock, that baby will fall asleep. That child will just automatically fall asleep because you have consistently kept that habit. And that's the same thing for adults. If you change your sleep time and vary your sleep time, what will happen is that you will have difficulty falling asleep. So you'll be in bed, just sitting there, lying there, but you won't fall asleep. The other thing that you try to do is keep your bedroom for sleep
hmm.
and possibly one other activity. But do not keep your bedroom, you're watching television in bed, using your phones. Try to put down that screen because what that does is interrupts your sleep. And with what's happening with our phones and all our charging and all our electronic equipment, it's best to have them away from us when we sleep.
even more
Okay,
detrimental.
so those are important things, and then you have to maintain a particular temperature. It's hard for you to sleep when your room is too cold or too hot. So you have to maintain that comfortable temperature. And as you get older, you tend to get a little bit warmer. You tend to be, I mean, as people get older, they tend to get a little bit hotter in terms of the night, so they want to keep a cooler temperature in terms of their room.
And for some people,
You
doc,
know,
and for some people, doc,
not,
if you're hungry and go to sleep, you have a problem too.
Well, you know, that's
not
the same
okay.
thing that happened to Paul Tommy. Go ahead, Elise.
I was just asking to speak to us who live in the Caribbean region because we are experiencing, we are experiencing some very hot days. I had a conversation with my mom who lives in the hills where there are so many trees, and generally it's very cool. When it's hot in the town,
It's
it is
cooler.
relatively cooler. And she is saying that the heat that she's feeling is beyond anything that she has experienced. So, I mean, sometimes we get climatized or we try different ways to deal with this heat. But if it's taking away your rest, what do you do? What do
So
you
there's some
do?
things that you can do. So you have to maintain, for one, okay, make sure you have clean sheets. Make sure you wash your sheets on a regular basis. Make sure that you have a good shower before you go to bed. And if it is hot, take a cold shower. Okay? So make sure you have a nice cool shower before you go to bed. And there's some persons who basically think that sleeping naked might help the situation because it will help to cool you down. So there are benefits sometimes when it's hot to sleep naked, apart from having um, that coolness when you sleep. There are other benefits to just making sure that you actually so sleep. So sleeping naked is another thing that can actually help with the coolness of your sleep, and that is if it's conducive for you to do that too, because it improves the quality of your sleep. But you might not be in a situation that you may be able to sleep naked. But that can happen in terms of the fact that it's hot, and having the comfort, the restriction of the clothes and everything might just so basically you get in a shower just before you go to bed. Try to
So,
actually sleep with minimal clothes. If possible, you can sleep naked, and that will try to help, especially persons who are in that hot environment where that's impairing their sleep. Because you have to understand, if you're hot, you're never going to sleep well. You're going to be waking up very, very sweaty and miserable. So it's very important to get that temperature, which some people are not able to get it, but you can do things that will actually help you in terms of getting that atmospheric temperature, which is might be conducive better for you to sleep.
I would recommend installing an air conditioned unit.
If that's the case, you might not be able to have one might not be accessible. So if you can, that would be awesome to get the
Okay.
room as cool as possible. So having that air
I like
conditioning unit, and
I like the
set
part
it.
about I like the part about just not wearing clothes at all. That seemed like it would work much better for it.
And then even when you install an air conditioning unit, you have to set it to a particular temperature that's comfortable for you. And different temperatures, some people might comfort for some people might be 75 degrees. Comfort for some people might be 70 degrees. Comfort for some people might be 77 degrees. So it's what's comfortable for you. And so I'm not going to say you're to set a particular temperature because it's what's comfortable for you. You're living in a hot environment. You are not going to be comfortable sleeping in 70 degrees because that's going to be very, very cold. But if you live in a cold environment, you're definitely not going to be comfortable sleeping with 77 because you're used to your body temperature being much, much colder. So it all depends. And then there are persons who, if you know you're going to be sleeping, there's something called what, the 10-5-2-3-1-0 rule, where 10 hours before you go to bed, you need to stop drinking caffeine for those persons who drink caffeine. And then 3 hours before you go to bed, you should stop eating. You shouldn't eat anything. Then 2 hours before you go to bed, you need to stop. I think you're not supposed to be drinking or 1 hour thereabout. And zero is where you're not supposed to be snoozing that alarm because they're saying that the benefit of it is not good. You're not supposed to be putting your alarm and keep snoozing, snoozing, snoozing. That's not adding anything to your sleep. And a lot of people do that. And all of us do it sometimes when we want to get a little additional sleep. We know it's 9 minutes for the snooze, and we take that 9 minutes, we fall asleep, and then we wake up again. But it's important for us to at least, if we're getting enough sleep and we're sleeping enough, even before the alarm wakes up, our body will automatically wake you up. And basically, what happens is that, you know, there's so many things that happen. Our cortisol level decreases, meaning that our stress factor decreases. It, 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 um, it helps us in terms of so many things when we get good quality sleep. And so it's not just falling asleep, it's staying asleep in the night. And there's so many people who basically do not, they go to bed and they might be in bed for 10 hours, but they're not getting 10 hours sleep because their quality of sleep is not good. Okay, so we need to make sure
Wow.
that we improve our quality of sleep, not just the quantity.
So far, sleep seems to be one of the most important of so many ways of not getting sick or unhealthy. And for
Right.
sleep, for being such an important thing, I see that it is the least likely that we are encouraged to do when we have so many functions that include night activities. That would be out in the nights partying and going to the, for those who go to the club, but even people who go to church. You have lots of crusades and stuff that goes on and it keeps you up until midnight and our ways more. And I can imagine that you're robbing yourself of this good quality sleep that would be important. So one or the other, sleep has played such a significant role in our lives, and to keep us healthy, as you're describing, Dr. K. And why is it so? While we are talking about it, the activities that or culture that is being developed over time are seemingly not including that idea of getting sleep. It excludes the idea of sleep while telling you that you must.
That's correct.
Uh,
And so
I,
go ahead, go ahead.
no, I was just actually agreeing with Mikey G because what society or what we have been taught to do so much, if we are excluding anything or we are cutting back on anything, it's sleep. And certainly, what we are learning from the conversation is how important it is for us to have be temperate. So we need to eat well. We need to sleep as well. Rest is also important for health and well-being as well. I can't believe my heart is also affected. My
Affected by
rest.
not having enough
That's
sleep.
yeah, yeah.
And you understand that too much is too bad, too much is bad too.
Oh my word.
So there's always a balance, right? Too much sleep is too
Balance.
bad.
Yes, yes.
A balance, there's always a balance. And there are some people who basically just have sleep, the disorders of sleep. There's some people who have insomnia. And we have to understand that even though we say, yes, you're to get this amount of sleep, there are just some people who just cannot fall asleep.
I see
And
people.
we
What's
have to
recommended?
use,
I will go ahead, ladies.
How many hours of sleep is typically recommended?
seven and more, at least
Seven
7
and
hours of
more.
sleep.
If you break it up, say example, you're a night sleeper, but you can sleep a little in the day. Does that compensate? Is night sleep different from day sleep? I mean, can you balance it? Can you break
Actually,
it up in pieces?
it does help. It does help when you do that because there are other cultures that actually get sleeps in the day. You have the siesta that will actually help with the sleep. They have an hour or so in the day that they actually sleep. There are Japanese cultures that actually help you to sleep in the days. So they will actually help to compensate for some of those nights' rest. But then most people do not get the opportunity to sleep because they're working all day, and if they come home and they sleep in the evenings, it's going to interfere with their sleep at nights. So they're not going to be sleeping very well. So the thing to do is to yeah, if you have the ability to do a siesta, that's great. But not many persons have the ability to do a siesta. But for those persons who have difficulty falling asleep, as I say, good sleep etiquette is important. There's some people, like my dad. I tell my dad that when sleep was given away, he was at the front of the line. I think my father can sleep standing, honestly.
Mhm.
And even at his age, he sleeps very well. My father, you sit here with him, and if you do not say anything to him for 2 minutes, he's gone to sleep. If he's not doing anything, he's fast asleep.
And that's a gift, Dr. K, because I was going to ask you the question, and I know that you're going to deal with um, aspects of sleep or lack of sleep or conditions that cause or both sides of the fence, right? Whether you're sleeping too much or not sleeping enough. But persons, as they grow older, they have a difficulty in sleeping and resting
Just
as
falling
well.
asleep,
And
yeah.
sometimes they have to turn to different sedatives or some things to assist with that sleep. What can you, well, you mentioned sleep etiquette. What natural ways would you recommend to build this sleep etiquette that you're mentioning? What can I do now to improve this sleep etiquette as I progress in life?
Okay. So the thing to do is that I agree. As you get older, you are basically having a decrease in terms of your sleep. And it's not like your sleep requirement is not the same. Your sleep requirement is less than when you were children. But as you become an adult, yes, you do need more sleep. As you get older, possibly 65 years and older, especially when you retire, you tend to have less sleep because you do more sleeping in the days. So you tend to sleep less at nights, or you still sleep the same amount, but your sleep is broken up, and because you're sleeping in the days, you sometimes have problems sleeping at night. But the thing about it is that there are things that you can do in order to help you to sleep. So there are people who actually will use melatonin, because melatonin is a hormone that is naturally produced by the body. And when you sleep, your melatonin increases. It increases to cause you to sleep, and it increases to keep you sleeping. So what you need is melatonin that is released to cause you to sleep, and also melatonin that is released to keep you sleeping. But then some people have decrease in terms of their melatonin effect, and some people have to be taking exogenous melatonin. The thing to do is that there are a number of things that people can use to help them to fall asleep. And we have lots of other things that we use. We have stuff that we use. I mean, there are people who will say, drink soursop tea, leaf tea, yeah, leaf tea
Yes, yes.
that will actually, yeah, that will actually is calming to the nerves, and that will help them to sleep. There are people who will probably drink ginger tea. There are people who use teas and different things to help them to sleep. It all and it's different for different people. There are some people who will drink that and it will do nothing for them. So
What about stress? What about stress, Dr. K? Well, I know you're dealing with the pathology on and not, you're talking about the normal natural sleep,
Correct.
but boy, stress,
Yeah,
stress.
but stress, and that's like the chicken and the egg, because the stress prevents you from sleeping, and not sleeping enough increases your stress. So as we say, the thing about it is that, I mean, handling our stress is very important. We cannot allow our stress, and the thing about it, nights tend to be horrible for some people, because when everything is quiet around you, that's when the world comes on your shoulder. And there's so many things, everything that goes wrong in the days, you know when you're alone. But as people of faith, I always say at those times, you read your Bible and pray and give it to God and go to sleep.
Oh,
And go to sleep. And that's important. So there are things that we can take to help us to sleep. So one I said is our melatonin, because melatonin is a natural product of our brain, and so we can get melatonin supplements that can help us to fall asleep. Once we take that in, it should help us. We take it an hour or so before bedtime, and it will help us to fall asleep. We try not to recommend a lot of those sleeping tablets because they do cause additional effect. So we try to use more natural stuff, and if you can use more natural stuff to help you fall asleep, that's the best way. Some other things that you can use, and as I talked about, the soursop. Some people can get things like magnesium will help you to fall asleep. Some people use a lemon bark. That is another thing. Passion flower can actually help you to fall asleep. A lot of people use the chamomile, the chamomile
Come.
teas.
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes, yes. So those are things, because the passion flower has things like GABAergic drugs, natural body's production of GABA. It stimulates the natural production of GABA, the neurotransmitter that actually helps you to fall asleep in the nights. So it helps you to fall asleep more quickly and actually stay asleep more quickly. Remember, you have different stages of sleep. You have your REM sleep and your non-REM sleep. So your REM sleep is where you have your rapid eye movement. That's a deeper part of sleep. Then you have your REM, which is divided into stage one, two, and three. So stage one is when you're going off to sleep, which is light. If somebody comes into the room, you're going to be awake. Then stage two is when it's going to be a deeper sleep. Stage three is where you're sleeping. That's where the most of your sleep is, your memory and everything is organized. And then you go into REM sleep, which is the less sleep. So you're going to cycles of REM and non-REM sleep throughout the night. So you sleep deep, then you wake up a little bit, then you go back into this deep sleep, and you wake up a little bit, but you're not waking up to wake up to. But these are the cycles of sleep, and this is how your body goes through. So you're not just sleeping in one stage of sleep throughout the night. You're sleeping in different stages of sleep, and you cycle those stages three, four, five, probably three, four, five times for the night, depending on how much sleep you get. So we want you to cycle those stages of sleep, and that's how your body repairs itself, and that's how God made you to function. So I mean, what you do is that when you take a lot of these sleeping aids, you're not going through those cycles. You're not going through those cycles of sleep, which is normal for you to get good rest. So sometimes they wake up sleeping, feeling drowsy, even though you take those sleep aids, you're feeling drowsy. You're not feeling well refreshed. In fact, for you to sleep well refreshed, you have to probably sleep for 2 days, and then you sleep like you felt like you slept. And it's impossible for you unless you're not going anywhere. But you should actually, if you're sleeping like that, then it's a lot of people who take it, and that's why tomorrow night you have to take some more, and the
I didn't
cycle
know that.
continues. And the next day you have to take some more until you will not go to sleep unless you take it.
Yeah. So I'm anxious for you to have a discussion with us next week about sleep apnea, because lately I have been having discussions with a lot of persons I know who are talking about a CPAP or a machine that they use to assist them
In,
Yes.
in
with
falling
sleep.
asleep.
And so
Mhm.
Yes. So I'm sure you're gonna get
So
them
next week, I
deep
think we
into
could
that.
dive into.
And yes, and so persons who want to find out more about disorders of sleep, they have to tune in next week. And thank you so much, Dr. K, for having this conversation with us. I hope that each member of the listening audience, those listening on Facebook, on YouTube, Instagram, or whichever platform you're on, you recognize and starting today, you will try to improve your sleep etiquette. Correct?
Correct.
Starting today, I am going to
Correct.
improve on how I can get better rest. No sleeping tablets for me, but I'm thinking of a few ideas, ladies, about how I could actually get those rest. But I guess next week when we talk a little bit more on sleep apnea, I will exchange the machine for the machine. That kind of
For another machine.
thing. Or another machine.
Let's talk about getting your
Whatever
massage,
works,
resting. Yeah.
whatever works,
Whatever
whatever
works.
works, whatever
But
works.
he has a
Yes.
machine for sleep apnea. But it's important though.
Yes.
I mean, there are so many people, and I've been asked, and that's why I decided to let me talk about the benefits of sleep, because sleep apnea is something that we really, really need to talk about. So I'm going to talk
All
about
right.
signs and symptoms, how you know you have sleep apnea, what to do if you think you have sleep apnea.
What to do?
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you
K.
so much, Dr. K.
Well, of course, what to do if you're having sleep apnea this morning? Ac-
APNEA, apnea.
Apnea.
Ap-
It,
apnea.
I will definitely figure out which machine I'm going to use next week. Dr. K, when you
please
come
do.
when you come back, we're going to be having that conversation on the right machine. Well, the machines that are necessary, and we'll definitely have this discussion. Of course, I'm going to practice the pronunciation of the word a little better as I go off set. And next week when I come back, I will be better prepared for it. Thank you guys for listening this morning. Of course, keep it locked right here on Flashpoint Radio, Flashpoint Media, www. Or web radio continues all day. And of course, as we continue this one experience, stick and stay with us right here on Flashpoint. Dr. K, thank you so much.
You're welcome, and see you next week with sleep apnea.
Right.
When you need ultrasound that's safe and effective, you must visit Asai Ultrasound Imaging. They're conveniently located at number 4 Chestnut Center, Smith Road, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. With experienced technologists with over 20 years experience, their friendly staff will make you comfortable while you get your procedure done. Asai Ultrasound Imaging is open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Call Asai Ultrasound Imaging 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426. That's 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426. Need help to produce your podcast? Flashpoint Media makes it very easy. We can relieve you of the headache by recording your podcast for you. So, take the first step to getting your content to your desired audience. Contact us here at Flashpoint and your podcast will be live in no time. Our website is www.flashpointmedia.ky or call us at 345-321-6969. That's 345-321-6969.
When the world quiets down and the noise of the day fades away, that's when the real conversations begin. The ones we hide, the ones we fear, the ones that need to be heard. Conversations After Dark with Mario, where the silence ends and truth begins. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m., Mario takes you on a journey through the real, raw, and rarely spoken truths that shape our lives. From personal battles to family struggles, community wounds to silent traumas, no topic is too taboo, no story too deep. It's not just talk, it's healing. This is a safe space where shame is shattered, silence is broken, and truth finally speaks. Conversations After Dark with Mario, every Wednesday at 10 p.m. only on Flashpoint Radio, www.flashpointmedia.ky. Stay up, speak up, heal forward.
I'm Audley Scott, and you're listening to Flashpoint Radio. Rise and shine. Your morning boost of inspiration, news, and fun. With Mikey G, Lady Elise, and Coralie Karen, the unmistakable combination, synergized to navigate.
Well. Good morning. I say to you, thanks to Dr. K for her presentation this morning on sleep. Of course, we're going to be looking at those machines that we need for resting properly in the night, and we need the one that's electronically operated, or alright, so we'll bring you through some of that next week, so keep it locked right here on Flashpoint. Catch us next week, same time, same place, another Wednesday for Wellness Wednesday with our own physician, Dr. K, every Wednesday right here on Flashpoint. Now, for those who have listened to that ad a while ago, and After Dark with Mario, man, the thing does sound shot. So tonight is the first night it's going to be debuted. Tonight at 10 p.m. And for some unknown reason, the timing is different. For persons in different time zones, it might be a little different. But in the Grand Cayman Islands, Eastern Standard Time, it's going to be 10 p.m., which means it's going to be 11 p.m. in the US of A, and maybe some other parts of the world. It's 1 hour ahead. So it's going to be one of those evenings when you set up and get a chance to hear some conversations that are not normally spoken during the daytime, and you can really just have that talk. That is that conversation that is necessary sometimes when it's uncut, unedited, and simply direct. Yeah, that's what I want to say. I want to say thank you guys for joining me this morning for the breakfast, and of course I want to thank Lady Elise as well for being with me on the breakfast with Dr. K, and of course Coralie Karen, our news anchor, who every morning gets our news in order for us right here at Flashpoint. And so as we take it out of the studio this morning, I'm Mikey G in the studios of Flashpoint this morning. I want to say it has been a beautiful morning, and indeed a Wednesday, Wellness Wednesday, with an extreme difference. And of course, as you go through today, walk good, do something nice for somebody, and of course, be at peace with yourself and with your God. Alright? Take care of yourself. Our radio continues all day. www.flashpointmedia.ky. Our web radio continues right through the day. Remember, Flashpoint is found on your telephones, your smart devices, iPads, your computer sitting at your office desk. We are everywhere. So you don't have to worry. Flashpointmedia.ky, and you'll find us right there. Continue to play, continue to enjoy Flashpoint, and log on this evening. Keep it locked for tonight's program right here on Flashpoint After Dark with Mario this evening on Flashpoint. Alright, so have yourself a beautiful day, guys. Take care. On behalf of myself, Lady Elise, and the entire team at Flashpoint, all VIPs, big up yourself. Keep it locked, non-stop. It's gonna be an amazing week. Rest of it. Come tomorrow, remember guys, Yardy link up tomorrow on Thursday. With of course yours truly, Mikey G. Yardy link up. I want to say a big up to the man, Mr. Chris Durant, and the diaspora this morning, right here in Grand Cayman Islands. Alright guys, take it out. I'm gonna take it out with you this morning. I'm gonna leave you with this one. If you did not know that you are capable of making a change, just try it and see what will happen.
It's like we're running in circles, going around every day, getting stuck in the hurdles of yesterday. Don't you wanna go further, away from the fray? Let's not get stuck in our worries, we'll make our way. Won't you come outside where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air, look up to the moon. I'll meet you outside, away from the crowd. Just you and me together, we'll all sing there outside. Just us in the sky. I will go wherever, I'll be yours Are we part of this circus? Is it innate? Feels like a heavy burden, but I can't relate. Do our actions even matter? Or is this our fate? At least now I'm feeling better, I know I'm here to stay. Won't you come outside where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air, look up to the moon. I'll meet you outside, away from the crowd. Just you and me together, we'll all sing there outside. Just us in the sky. I will go wherever.
There are two things I do know right now. One, you're listening to Flashpoint Radio. Number two, you ain't gonna keep it to yourself. Flashpoint Radio. Internet comes alive. Inspiration? In a class by itself.
You're listening